Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. It has been a lot that we couldn't talk about Europe. We couldn't do this barnamij, which means program. Let's get used to cultural and linguistic differences. We couldn't do this program. It's been a long time, but Europe is always important. Europe is huge, and we are following Europe. We are looking after Europe. Therefore, as I said, one of the posts in my social account, the change will come, but petit à petit, which means slowly. Therefore, let's focus on Europe. Let's think what can we do, what can we say about Europe. European countries, especially the European Union countries, after the COVID-19 process, the pandemic process, we have still things to do. Therefore, I prepared some points about Europe for this barnamij, European talks. I am continuing to work for the European affairs, but it has been a lot of time that we didn't do the program of European talks. In this barnamij, I talk about the developments in the European Union and in the countries that have close economic, social, cultural, and citizenship relations with the European Union, such as Turkey and Britain. I hope you will not take this speech as a manifesto, but it can be, I think, it can be a manifesto. It can be a challenge. It can be a political challenge, a philosophical challenge. Let's continue. In the beginning of this century, we experienced it, and we are experiencing important developments. First of all, the European Union has been passing four significant events and tests, of whom the effects are continuing. And these challenges are still waiting the right reactions and politics. Let's not forget that we have to use our time in a certain efficiency. Interestingly, these four significant events and tests have a lot of question marks and de facto developments, fait accompli developments. We could say that living such significant tests in a short time frame brought the European societies in front of a depression. To overcome the depression, we need patience and fine working. What are these tests and events? Let's talk about them. The first one is Brexit. Yes, Brexit is one of the most important developments in the European Union in the recent years. At the beginning, the Brexit was very logical. An old imperial state, which has never been inside the European Union, totally would leave the European Union, which is one of the biggest economic markets in the world and a developing political power. Thanks to our workings, me and those who think like me, we could find an answer in these days to the questions of Americans. Whom are we are whom are we going to talk when we call Europe? I always mention this fact that Britain's never been in the Union. Therefore, Brexit is not the right word to define this development. We have to find the right definition. Unfortunately, Brexit became a prevention in front of the European Union. Let's not forget the specific Brexit negotiations can take years. Now we need good and positive leadership in the European Union. The European thought is not only a political choice, it's also our destiny. Already now, the British people saw the negative effects of the Brexit in every side of the economy and society. Secondly, Brexit is fait accompli. Europe, while she is becoming political power, could not produce opinion about this essential event. A 40-year of unity cannot end with a 6-month referendum process. This is not logic. I advise the British politicians and policymakers to decide and determine the place of Britain, especially the center of gravity of Britain. Yes, this process can help us and can help the British people, British politicians, to determine the center of gravity of Britain. Where is Britain in the world? It's near to Europe, close to Europe, or somewhere else. Thirdly, Brexit is not secular, an essential European value. Secularism is an essential European value. Not only England, but also whole European countries get multicultural, multilingual, multi-religious approach. We have to. But we cannot say the same thing for Brexit. We have to reinterpret the secularism approach in Europe, including England as well. The secularism is always important. I sometimes propose some propositions for how can we create a new secularism in Europe that would be concrete, that everybody can feel, understand. For instance, I propose this suggestion that in Europe the population of Muslims are continuing to rise. For instance, before 3 years, 4 years, there was not 3 million Syrians in Europe. Now it is more than 3 millions. Now the Afghan people are coming. This means that there has been already Muslim people in the continent. Therefore, we need to form a new secularism approach. One of my suggestions is that, for instance, we can make, I know the COVID process is, let alone the COVID process, let's put aside the COVID process, but in the normal time, we can make, for instance, the first day of the Ramazan festival holiday in most of the European countries. In the countries there are millions of or thousands, 100,000 of Muslims. We can make the first day of the Ramazan festival a day of holiday for all these countries. The countries that have, for instance, more than 500,000 Muslim people. This is a suggestion, and we are working on this. Last but not least, Brexit is difficult. The state may try the difficult things, but the peoples cannot. We, the people, always think the easy way. The easy way, I told that, the easy way, Brenter, which means Britain will be in the Union, not Brexit. Brexit is a difficult one, and I'm not sure that we are going to succeed this development. The developments in Turkey. Unfortunately, in these days, especially in the recent years, really a little population in Europe are talking about talking about Turkey, which is a very important country. There is specific developments in Turkey that there are violation of human rights. There are the things which are undergoing against the European values, but we didn't talk Turkey too much in Europe, but we have to. Turkey is a very important country. There was a visit of the European Commission to Turkey in the recent months. This is a development, but this is not enough. You know, we have to do some things. We have to take concrete steps for Turkey in European politics. Turkey is one of the most interesting countries of the Western Union. It has a lot of specialties. Historically imperial, Muslim, but in the West, on the route to Asian and African continents. Generally democratic, but it has seen many military interventions. But in the recent years, literally speaking, strangers things are happening in this country. Suddenly, a tyrannizer, cryptic, extremely statist government rose from the grave. There is not any definition in the vocabulary about what's happening in Turkey at the moment, in the vocabulary of democracy that's being practiced on a Muslim community more than 7 years became a crime against humanity and civil genocide, the conceptions which are extremely against European values. Yes, there is a community in Turkey. Almost everybody knows this community. Every state in the world, they know this community, and other peoples from other communities, and there is a separation on them for many years. Not 1 year, not 2 years. Now it's 8 years, almost. Everybody knows that, but no one talk about this. We have to talk about this. We have to find a solution. This doesn't continue as such. And this became a crime against humanity and civil genocide. These are the terms judicially we can give this development. This not a positive development. There is huge psychological terror executed on a community, including me. I'm not from this community, but as I said, there is a huge terror. There is a huge suppression to people, to some individuals as well, like me. Even in Europe. The Minister of Interior of Turkey has told the public that 597,000 people were interrogated illegally, and millions of people were touched from the purge and suppression. The last time Europe has experienced such a process was the time of the Second World War. If we are living in a world where everything is linked to each other, European and world powers should do something in Turkey to save the values of Europe and our planet. The values of our planet are in danger at the moment because of the developments in Turkey. The first thing to do is to leave civil persons who did not have any relation with the fake military coup in 2016. I hope that our European and Western allies had understood that the interventionism didn't work in Turkey. The Turkish state and some international actors make up the fake military coup an excuse for suppression and serious violation of human rights. Although Turkey is a negotiation country with the European Union for the membership of the European Union, what's happening in Turkey has nothing to do with Europe and conflicting with the justice. Let's not forget that just before 3 months from the fake military coup, the membership negotiations between Turkey and European Union advanced a lot. In July 2016, there's a fake military coup, and the group state in Turkey is using this fake military coup as a for the excuse of suppression to some people, to some individuals. Interestingly, before July 2016, which means March 2016, we came in a advanced level for the relationship with Turkey and the European Union. For instance, we will lift the visa restrictions between Turkey and European Union, but this development of July 2016 given harm to the relations, to social structures in Turkey, even in Europe. If Turkish government is sincere, they should immediately put the country on the road of justice and law. Another test, migration crisis. Europe has seen one of the biggest migration flow of the history in the recent years. It's an important fact that migration is an essential element for the re-establishing Europe. But more than that, the management and direction of migration is more important. In this case, migration became a crisis. One of the reasons for the migration flow to the Europe is that the European countries could still establish strong social structures. One of the reasons is that the European countries couldn't still establish strong social structures. We could stop migration on its source, promote regular migration, but we can say that Europe still does not have necessary instruments for this. European social structure is changing and will change. For this reason, the European Union countries should be prepared to this development and create necessary institutions and coordination. We cannot look the migration concept with the Darwinist theories. Migration issue has a humanitarian perspective, and the members countries also should make stronger and regulate internal population flow. There's a migration and there's an internal population flow sometimes. We should also develop this internal migration flow between the European countries, between the European Union countries. We always think when we are thinking about the migration issue has a humanitarian perspective. We shouldn't forget this. Because of that, at first I made a proposition that we cannot use the word of migrate, the word of migrant. We can use, for instance, visitors. There are visitors in the European Union countries, because this issue has a humanitarian perspective, and the European Union countries should prepare compatible, available place for the migrants who are coming from anywhere in the world, wherever they come from Syria, from Afghanistan, from Africa. We should prepare them, and political refugees as well, political visitors, maybe political refugees as well, from Turkiye. We should prepare the available place for them. Because migration, if you use it in a positive way, it can be a power, it can be really power, it can be a richness. Therefore, Europe and the statistics shows us that Europe needs population. Europe needs labor force. Therefore, we have to labor and thinking force, not only labor. When I say labor, some people understand working all day. No, Europe also needs philosophy. And the last test that I mentioned in my program today will be COVID-19. Being a diplomat and a person trying to know the world, I can say that COVID-19 is a part of security threat, not a health threat. But this fact should be also explained by the official sources. We should accept this first. I can say as a diplomat that COVID-19 is a security process. It's not a health process. It's not a health threat. It's a security threat. First of all, we have to accept it, and we have to wait, and we need to hear from the official sources the explanations about COVID-19. An international system and which is not working, and I'm working local systems. I'm working justice and social systems. Clear violation of human rights even in Western countries, in Turkey, in China, in Russia, in Europe, forced the global hegemony to invent a threat about which no one has an idea. There are local systems, there is an international system, but they don't work regularly, they don't work in justice. And the global hegemony to stop all the things, maybe to restart everything, invent this COVID-19 virus or thing. But the important thing, the essential thing that we have to know that the international system is not working. The local systems are in danger. They are not prepared the global developments, such as look at us, look at the European countries. They are not prepared to migration. Migration became a crisis instead of an opportunity. Migration should be an opportunity, but in that time it became a crisis. Why is the reason for that? Because the local systems, the local bureaucracy is not prepared the global developments. There is problem, especially the violation of human rights in many countries, not only in Turkiye, not only in China, in Russia, in some European countries, just near European border. For instance, Belarus, we are seeing the news about undemocratic developments about Belarus. Just close to the border of the Europe. Other things, other countries, we have still violation of human rights in Europe, even in some European countries. We have to say this from now on, and we should solve these issues. The people cannot wait. The people wait the solution because they are moving humans. We are moving. We are not. They have feelings. They have expectations. They have a living. They need solutions, and there are the solutions. We have to apply these solutions. There are the solutions. European Union countries, we have the solutions. The solution, one of the solutions is democracy and human rights. We always mention about this, and we are going to mention about this. But if one had taken biology classes in high school level, then she or he could give answers easily to COVID-19. Not a fortunate thing, but the scientists are not telling the truths. But we have to tell and accept the truths in the beginning of this century. We can add to these tests. Yes, we talk about 4 important tests challenge for Europe: Brexit, the situation in Turkey, migration, and COVID-19. We can add to these tests the questions about security, secularism and religions, bureaucracy, the state structure, the effect of globalization, and new generations. We have the new generations, and we need to understand them. What are their expectations? What do they need? Even they don't know what they need. We have to focus on the new generations for the future of Europe, for the future of the European Union. For instance, the youth unemployment rate is very high in almost every European Union countries. Why is that? We have to find solution. There are solutions if you think on that. We are not in the middle age. We have technology, we have philosophies, we have thinking. There are solutions. We have to apply them. immediately. We cannot wait anymore. We have to apply them. In the beginning of this century, we have to make new definitions. Last century, we drew the physical borders. In the beginning of this century, today, we have to draw psychological borders. Yes. Last century, we drew the physical borders. But today, we have to, maybe more difficult, but we can do this. We have to draw the psychological borders of the European Union and of the world as well. Europe is important, and we are going to talk about Europe. Let's focus on European Union and let's find solutions. Today. See you in another program. Stay with us. Take care of yourselves. Especially, the schools are beginning the time of return for everybody to their works, their schools. Let's begin and let's start a new beginning. Let's make a new beginning for Europe, for the European Union, between the European Union countries, because the European Union countries are important as well for other continents. The light and the development will come from Europe, will come out from Europe to all the world. I think because of that, the European countries are very important. We have to find solutions of the European Union and all other international powers. We wait their help, their contribution to this development of the European Union. See you again. Take care of yourselves.